time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. A strong cold front travels across the plains today, Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast tomorrow, and arrives at the East Coast on Sunday with areas of showers and storms expected. Cold high pressure in the wake of the front will bring areas of gusty winds and snow to the Rockies and northern plains today into tomorrow. Severe thunderstorms are going to be possible late tomorrow from East Texas into the deep south. Closer to home, widespread windy conditions with winds 20 miles per hour gusting into the 40s in the lowlands could create areas of blowing dust. Higher terrain will see winds 30 miles per hour gusting up near 50. A cold front will move through tomorrow morning, dropping temperatures around 15 degrees cooler than today in the basin and around 20 degrees cooler in the mountains. Morning lows on Sunday and Monday will be below freezing for the area, so be mindful of your pets, pipes, and plants. We're going to have another look at the weather following this news. Yesterday was the Otero County Commissioners meeting. Discussion on a squatter situation at a Quail Trail mobile home property.
We haven't got any progress done on that. We're still working to try to see if we can get the tenants there. We still aren't in a process where we can cite.
County Commissioner Amy Barella speaks up.
We're going on almost a year on this, and squatters do not have rights.
I have to wonder if former County Commissioner Coy Griffin would agree with that statement.
We've got to figure out how to get this cleaned up and done.
I reached out to the individual in question. No response as of news deadline. You can see the meeting in its entirety on the Otero County YouTube channel. The case of Logan Jacobs, 33, killing Joe Romo, 42, both of Alamogordo, and both were employed by the Parks and Recreation Department, is moving forward. We heard from Mayor Susan Payne.
I believe in the criminal justice system, and sometimes the wheels of progress do move a little slower, but I appreciate their thoroughness in investigating this.
Jacobs claims that Romo swung at him and hit him in the throat. Jacobs then responded by pulling out a 9mm handgun and shooting Romo. Witnesses said they saw Romo get out of his vehicle and reportedly hit Jacobs. However, court documents state that there was no indication that Romo ever struck Jacobs. Jacobs says he called 911 following the shooting and surrendered to police when they arrived at the park. Romo was taken to the hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Jacobs has been charged with first-degree murder, and a motion to hold him behind bars without bond was filed in Otero County's 12th District Court yesterday. He has a detention and preliminary court hearing set for today. Lawmakers had been pushing for federal compensation for locals impacted by nuclear testing in New Mexico, but the efforts to get that compensation for more New Mexicans exposed to radiation have stalled. Earlier this year, U.S. Senator Ben Ray Lujan, U.S. Representative Teresa Ledger-Fernandez, and other lawmakers attempted to expand the existing Radiation Exposure Compensation Act to include more New Mexicans. It's an effort that lawmakers have tried year after year with very limited success. In 2023, expanded compensation did make it into an amended version of the National Defense Authorization Act, but now it's been left out of a recent conference report. Lujan blamed Republicans while ignoring that U.S. Senator Kevin Cramer, a Republican from North Dakota, headed the committee. Lujan said in a press release that he's not going to give up on justice for New Mexicans and all those deeply impacted by radiation exposure and nuclear testing. The annual Christmas tree lighting is tonight from 6 until 8 p.m. at Washington Park. This is a free family event featuring food, crafts, and fun, plus a chance to meet Santa Claus. The White Sands Mall Christmas Craft Fair is tomorrow from 10 to 4 and will feature over 40 crafters and vendors. The Christmas Parade is tomorrow at 6. You know, folks, we nearly lost it this year, so in order to be sure that we have these in the future, please attend if you're not participating. The White Sands National Park released the monthly visitation report for the month of November 2023. In November, 50,685 visitors, which is a 2% increase from November of last year. Year-to-date visitation is 674,777, which is a 3% increase from 2022. Well, today is Friday. That means it's time for a cat chat from Kitty City, NM.
Meowie Christmas. Hi, this is Kathy Denton with Kitty City NM, and welcome to this week's edition of Cat Chat. Last week, Kitty City featured several of our young kittens during the special season. This week, Kitty City is featuring two black twin brothers named Cain and Abel, who are not so identical. Cain is primarily black in color, but he has a silver undercoat, which is quite handsome, especially along his back. Abel, on the other hand, is a totally black, bleak kitty. Both brothers are 3 months old and have short fur. They can be timid upon first meeting a stranger, but are becoming accustomed to be handled by humans. It won't be long until these two brothers are eager to be cuddled and held. They have come a long way. Our next special kitty is Disco, and he is some kind of special. Disco is a short-haired black male kitten. He's 5.5 months old and has been recently neutered, microchipped, and is current on rabies and vaccinations. This little guy arrived at Kitty City frightened and nervous in September of this year. Kitty City staff worked with him to overcome his fear of humans. It only took a couple of weeks of talking to him and petting him in his kennel when he let us pick him up and hold him. One day, Disco said, "Hey, I like this." He has transformed into a trusting kitten who now looks forward to being cuddled by his humans. Little Disco gets wide-eyed in anticipation of being picked up and petted. Disco's favorite activity now is to lay in a person's arms and to be carried around. Disco will stay on a human's lap as long as we let him, purring constantly. Disco loves attention from the humans he knows and new humans alike. What a remarkable change we have witnessed with Disco. It goes to show that you should never give up on a cat. Come visit Cain and Abel and Disco and all their cat friends at Kitty City NM at 56 Stanley Ranch Road. Or check out all our kitties on our website, www.kittycitynm.com. Meowie Christmas. Tomorrow, Saturday, December 9, White Sands Mall will have its Christmas craft show from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be no adoption event at the mall tomorrow, December 9. The next Kitty City adoption event will be next Saturday, December 16, at the White Sands Mall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out tomorrow, December 9, to the White Sands Mall to find some unique last-minute Christmas gifts. And join us next Saturday, December 16, to find your forever friend. We will have beautiful cats and kittens and dogs for adoption at the White Sands Mall next Saturday, December 16, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This has been this week's edition of Cat Chat. I'm Kathy Denton, wishing you a meowie Christmas. We will talk with you next week from Kitty City NM. Kitty City and you. No one loves them better.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
AlamogordoTownNews.com is a locally owned website featuring local news matters from a local perspective that affects you, and we bring it to you directly. Plus, local sports, cultural arts, and events. Online, AlamogordoTownNews.com. Owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Otero County, it's time for our annual First Responder Christmas Eve dinner. This dinner is one small way we show our appreciation to those heroes that have our backs every day. To thank them, every year we hold a potluck-style dinner on Christmas Eve for the on-duty first responders at the Desert Hills Church of Christ. But we need you to cook a dish or to help with serving. Please go to the Otero County Fire EMS Appreciation Facebook page for more details. Let's make sure our heroes know how much we love them. God bless and have a Merry Christmas.
Las Cruces police officer Brad Lunsford forcibly removed Presley Ezzie from a car in order to detain him back in August of 2022. They began struggling, and at some point Ezzie got a hold of another officer's taser, but never deployed the weapon. Officer Lunsford is accused of then grabbing his gun and shooting Ezzie in the back, the side of the head, and another time at point-blank range. New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres has charged Officer Lunsford with voluntary manslaughter with a firearm. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers at the El Paso ports of entry have intercepted around 67 pounds of cocaine, 89 pounds of methamphetamine, and multiple firearms, all between December 2nd through the 4th. Officials say the combined estimate street value is over $1 million. The New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department says there are children staying at the Chaves County office.
They're not supposed to be there at all. It's just because there's nowhere else. There are no other solutions.
that are being implemented.
Carrie Lee Clocher, the CEO of the Chaves County CASA program, speaking with KOB.
This is a phenomenon that we have seen erupt in the past year, I would say. We didn't see this happening much before COVID. There are not enough foster homes, and there are not enough treatment facilities for kids who have endured years and years of trauma.
While there's no telling how long the children will stay at the office, CYFD Secretary-Designate Teresa Casado says the staff meets daily when there's a behavioral health unity.
When we have an individual staying in an office, there's a daily briefing with our behavioral health unit. They talk every single day to try to figure out placement for those kids. Sometimes it will result in us finding someplace, but they will stay in the office until we find the appropriate placement for them.
Kevin Berry, the executive director of Peak Treatment Foster Care, says it's a statewide issue, and officials say child welfare needs to be a higher priority.
We talk about the economy and we talk about high crime rates and drug issues and homelessness, but we need to be talking about these kids who need a home. More than likely, there's going to be kids in New Mexico that are spending Christmas at the CYFD offices.
Berry says if you can't take on the role of foster parent, donations and a little bit of your time is just as important. He says you can be a CASA volunteer, you can become involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that we have to make child welfare a priority. An effort to establish a new national monument in southern New Mexico would preserve approximately 245,000 acres of land currently managed by the Bureau of Land Management. The proposed Mimbres Peaks National Monument would include an area that includes the Mimbres Peaks Florida Mountains, Good Sight Mountains, Cooks Peaks, and Tres Hermanas, also known as the Three Sisters.
The reason that I am supporting this monument designation is simply because of I know the value and the economic driver that this can be for our community.
Luna County Commissioner Ray Trejo speaking with KRWG Radio.
I think this is a golden opportunity to bring more dollars into our community. Everybody likes paved roads and fix the potholes and ambulance service, and I just think as a county commissioner that whenever there's opportunity to bring more money into that revenue stream, I think it's good for the community.
Trejo says the designation would help increase tourism and outdoor recreation to public lands in the area while preserving historical sites and cultural traditions in the region. Sports and weather are next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 37 games for New Mexico girls basketball today, including Carlsbad at Goddard, Clovis Christian at Hondo, Riverside comes to Alamogordo. Go Lady Tigers! There are 43 games for New Mexico varsity basketball today, including Clovis Christian at Hondo, Animas at Hatch, Mescalero at Mesilla Valley Christian, and Robertson at Redoso, to name a few. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies, mostly clear tonight, sunny tomorrow, winds gusting as high as 31 miles per hour. Your high today in the basin, 64, low tonight of 33, wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 28, high tomorrow, 48 degrees. In Cloudcroft, sunny skies with winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, winds gusting as high as 34. Sunny tomorrow, winds gusting as high as 32. Your high today for Cloudcroft, 44. Wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 27. Low tonight of 20. Wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 6. High tomorrow, 28. Wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 13 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.com. And learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. Also be sure to check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel, because that's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. Well, that concludes this Friday edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.